I'm not against that. I'm against the claim. Yeah. You look like you're about 5 or 4 people. Well, my daughter is in radiation. She had a little pop yesterday where she wasn't taking it too well. It was her last day radiation and experimental cancer medication. It's still on the door.
All right, Nico, it's ready. You ready? Mr. Rick, do you want to come visit with me for a little bit? Bring your stuff with you.
I know it's not like I'm scared. Keep that I'm cold. My egg sauce, my steam served. Oh, I just like it on popcorn. Too sweet. Sweet. I hated it when I was a kid. So I was in the extra mile. But I was about 45. One day I don't know what it tastes. And I tasted this, I said, "Whoa, taste what it's changed this go." I was so because I didn't eat over. Man, let me tell you about the oldest female that ever. All jokes aside. So I'm gonna get right to the story. I said, "Hey, I'm coming to village." She lives on the East Coast. She said, "Okay." She said, "You eat greens?" No, I don't even know about greens. She said, "I said, I don't eat no monkey green, ain't no collard green, ain't no green bean. I don't eat none of that." She says, "Oh, you're in my eyes." I said, "No, man." She said, "I promise you, you're in my eyes." But she was doing it. I said, "No, you're not." Tell her this way. And my mom was the best cook in the South. I'm not even good shit. See that green she put in front of me. When I got back to Dallas, I was there. My neighbor's like, "Hey, wait." Swiss rolls and no dog, I guess. What? No, 3 or 4 of these. For real? I gained 7 pounds. I understood about that. You got to talk you was supposed to Carolina. Fuck Carolina. What part you was in? I was going to get golf. See, my little boy grandfather was in women. Off South Carolina. And that's my first time going to South Carolina. So, I was born. everything that's actually open a can of more than $40. All right, let's go. Let's go, guys. Session time. Session time with Mr. G. Session time with Mr. Barber. Start now. 59. 59. All those who don't have them. All those who don't have I thought you had some guilt points. I thought you said you had some guilt points.
I do. And I already gave them out. They're all gone. So, man, you guys missed it.
Only the important people get them up.
I did bring some stuff, but I can't do that.
Can't do what?
Draw a turkey. I don't
Look, he can.
can't remember how they look.
Trace your hands. Trace your hands.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have a different type of group this morning. It's just going to be, we don't really have anything to do with our group. We're going to just go over some thankfulness things, but we still need to fill out our sign-in sheets. And then I'm going to come over, as soon as I can, get sign-in sheets from over at the other place. And we're going to finish up our little deal here real quickly on family health. This is a really good time of year to deal with family health. So we're on page 21. And so at some point in like the fourth stage of the family health is your family becomes willing partners. And one of the big things about having willing partners in your family is that we have to be willing partners as well. If we're not willing to be part of that, then it's hard for us to expect our families to be willing partners. So, what happened? You view your family and loved ones as willing partners at this point in time, or at least those key members who remain close to you. A lot of the times, some of the family's going to want to step away from us because of our addiction and all of that stuff. But sometimes, and usually, actually, there are a few that's going to still be available to us and still be helpful for us. And so those are the ones who want to remain close to us. Some minor conflict resolution, relationship repair needs to occur, but the overall health and stability of the family relationship is pretty strong at that point. We still have some good people. So, and the last part of it is the last stage that this is what we want to get to, is that place of loyal and honest relationship. You've established relationships that exemplify reciprocal loyalty and honesty, in which you and the other party are genuinely and mostly interested in actions that are mutual beneficial. We're trying to help one another. Missteps, conflicts arise, but they're rare, and they evolve from genuine, unintentional conduct or actions. We may still, even if we get to that place where our families are where they're supposed to be and everything is looking good, we still may have some missteps. Yeah, that happens to the best of us, right? I mean, we still have some miss things going on. So what's our goal for today? Just kind of look. Get through it. Somebody need to help him. It's pretty obvious we ain't able to help him. Somebody need to help him. Yeah. Say it again.
Be thankful.
To be thankful. That's a good goal for us to be thankful today. And we, like you said, we're just going to get through it. This is Thanksgiving Eve. Tomorrow we're going to have some stuff going on. I'm not really sure, but we're going to get to eat something good and all of that kind of stuff tomorrow. And then Friday's going to be a good, easy day, and then it'll all get started back over at some point. But how many people feel like they're really thankful this morning? I really am. Yeah, that's good. It's good that everybody here is thankful. I'm thankful for so much stuff. I want to go over. Look, Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. I love Thanksgiving and Christmas. But I want to go over a few things, and you ladies over at North, just just join in there and be part of this. So we're going to go over a few things about Thanksgiving and see how many people know, what Thanksgiving is all about. So, they had something to eat at Thanksgiving. So, true or false? That first Thanksgiving, turkey wasn't on the menu. Is that true or false? You think it's true? You think it's false? Anybody else? Now look, you have to be willing to back up your answer. So why is it true?
That's all they had to eat.
That's all they had to eat. There's just a bunch of turkeys running. No, let me read it to you. Turkey was not on the menu at the first Thanksgiving feast. True or false? He says it's true.
It's true. It's false.
He says it's false. So we're believing that turkey was there. So
which one was it, Mr. G?
We were not really sure.
Do we really know though?
No, we're not really sure. We have two letters that came from that group of people. The pilgrims that were left there at that time, there was only about 50 people left. So they had 50 people at that first Thanksgiving feast, and there was about 70 Indians that were at that Thanksgiving feast. And the feast went for 3 days. It wasn't just this one-day thing. It was a 3-day feast. And there was one guy that wrote a letter to and was talking about the feast and all of that stuff. And he said that they had freshly killed deer for the feast. They had wild birds. Now, it could have been a turkey, but it's not necessarily a turkey. Could have been any kind of other wild birds. So we're not really sure. And then they had corn, a lot of corn. So that could be true or false. We're not really sure. They had some game birds. That's what it was called. But turkeys, they're considered a game bird, wild turkey. So it could have been. So what year was the first Thanksgiving celebrated?
1865.
1989.
1980. What was it?
1865.
1865? No. Neither one of y'all correct. So, the first Thanksgiving was celebrated in 1621. 1621. That's a long time ago. So, how long did the first Thanksgiving last?
3 days.
3 days. Yeah, 3 days. Okay. How many women, y'all listen over there now, look. There's 50 people, 50. How many women were present at the first Thanksgiving?
1.
How many?
1.
30? 0?
1.
20?
You heard me out of 50 people?
Out of 50 people.
10.
I'm going to say 10.
10?
I'll say none.
That was a good one. He said none. Because he's just used to women not wanting to be around him. Yeah.
I'll make country look good.
You said he make ugly look good. He trying. He really trying. So, there were 3 women there. 3 women. So that meant there's all of this was a group of all of the people who had been there for that first winter and summer. And so most of them had died. So a lot of the women folk died during that first winter and summer. So, say it again.
I think the women were retarded.
Yeah, the women were retarded. Okay, you want to expound on that?
All women are retarded.
Okay, see, trying to get. So, what does the average turkey weigh?
20 pounds.
40 pounds?
20.
20 pounds?
10.
Anybody else have a guess?
12.
12 pounds? The average turkey, the one most people get nowadays, is about 15 pounds. Yeah. We got one that's about 11 pounds because it's just going to be just real. Yeah, we don't. 40 pounds would be a huge turkey. A female turkey is the one that's called the gobbler. Is that true or false?
True.
Yeah, I think the what's the female turkey called if it's not the gobbler? What is it?
That's a chicken.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't say, so we just have to leave that one. We don't know. What day is the day after Thanksgiving called?
Black Friday.
Black Friday. Why is it called Black Friday?
That's when your wives get to spend all your money.
That's when the wives get to spend all of their money. Somewhere above 80% of companies that are out there selling goods, they're in the red up until that one-day sale, and then they get into the black because of that one day. So that's why it's called Black Friday. So, at the first Thanksgiving, there was one utensil that we use today that was missing at that meal. What was that? Forks. There were no forks. They didn't have forks. So that was a frustration there, so, okay. I don't know how they know that. What is the second most consumed food on Thanksgiving? Dressing? That's what I would have guessed. Cranberries? No, I think that's probably least. I mean, there's three people in the whole world who likes cranberries. So, mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes is the second most consumed thing. What's the first? Turkey.
Gee, we never had mashed potatoes.
Y'all don't have mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving?
Potato salad.
Yeah, and I think they may be considering that because you have to. Well, some people don't, but most people mash potatoes before they make, dress that stuff out of it. But yeah, that's what we have, so it's good.
Yeah.
So which Native American tribe was at that first Thanksgiving?
It was like the most choice. Name like a few of them, and then we can
name a few of them.
Then we can pick from it.
Well, there were Indian nations all over the United States. So, the Cherokees, Blackfoot, the
Crow.
Who?
Crow.
The Crow?
The Samoan.
No. This one, y'all probably hadn't heard of these. I hadn't heard of them. The Wampanoags. That was the Indians that was there. The Wampanoags. And how many Wampanoags were there?
70.
About 70.
You said 60 a while ago.
How many did I say?
70. I'm going to say 3 women. 47.
He gave me
the answer. You said 3 women and 14 pilgrims.
No, there was 50 pilgrims.
There were 70 Indians.
70 Indians. So, all right.
Was Pocahontas there?
Pocahontas was invited, but she did not come. She's that kind of girl. She just no. We don't want to come. So we were talking about turkeys. What was the largest turkey that was ever recorded?
42 pounds.
42 pounds?
100 pounds.
30 pounds.
86 pounds.
That's a big turkey.
That's a big turkey. 86 pounds. The president every year they pardon a couple of turkeys. He pardoned a couple of turkeys yesterday.
This is funny.
And he was talking about, these turkeys, big turkeys. They weigh like 50 pounds. And Trump was standing up there, and he said they looking at the turkey, and they wanted him to come down there where the turkeys was. He said, "Will those turkeys attack people?" He said, "If those big turkeys attack people, I'm not going to go down there." He's scared of turkeys. So anyway, I thought that's kind of This I don't know. So, what was the first video game character in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
Snoopy.
Snoopy?
Now,
Mickey Mouse?
a turkey.
A turkey?
Pluto.
Fat man.
You're supposed to know these things about Thanksgiving. A Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Disney character?
Have y'all ever seen? Y'all ever seen that? Y'all ever seen the Sonic the Hedgehog movie? That's a good movie. I like that movie. It's a good movie. I've watched it. What's the skin? Y'all know the skin that hangs off the turkey's beak? What's that called?
Adam's apple.
An Adam's apple. What's it called?
Gobbler?
A gobbler?
Gobbler?
A goblet? It's called a snood.
Snood.
Yeah. Don't look at me like that. I didn't name the thing. I'm just telling you what they call it. Yeah, I got a snood myself. And that's what I was looking in the mirror the other day and I saw that thing. I said, man, that looks snoodish. You know, so yeah. So who wanted the turkey to be the national bird rather than the eagle?
Eisenhower.
Yeah.
George Washington.
No. Benjamin Franklin.
Oh.
Benjamin Franklin said, you know, we were depending on the turkey. Where people, that's about all we had to eat back at that time. You know, they all wild food and all of that stuff, and the turkey was a mainstay. And so he said the turkey should be our national bird. You know, but the rest of the people said they can't see the armies following a turkey. Yeah. So we decided on the other thing. So, what Native American was honored at the first Thanksgiving?
John Redcorn.
John Redcorn. I don't know who that is, but yeah, I've heard the name. Yeah. He's a who? What?
Chief Wild. I was going to say that, man. Chief Wild.
Wow. Squanto. Y'all remember Squanto? Squanto was the one that was working with the Pilgrims and all of that kind of stuff. He could speak the language. So he was an interpreter and a guide to the new settlers. And so he's the one that got the settlers hooked up with the Wampakapapis. And, you know, they all got together. So we all watch Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving every year.
No.
Yes, we do. If you're an American, you have to watch Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving. So, yeah. So we have one here. Yeah. So everybody knows who says that, you know. The wah, 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 wah. So who said that?
Oh, no.
The
little bird.
No, not the little bird. That's Charlie Brown's teacher.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
Charlie Brown's teacher. So when did that first start on television?
1976.
When?
1976.
Man, that's really close. It ain't right, but it's really close.
58.
No, it was 73. I was 20 years old.
I was
3.
Yeah, you were 3. Yeah, 3 years old. Yeah. So, well, no wonder you don't remember it. You were 3 years old. All right, so what does the word cornucopia mean? Now we talk about we talk about the cornucopia because that means that, you know, we have all of this food and stuff, and we say we have a cornucopia of food on Thanksgiving. So what does the word cornucopia mean?
Feast of corn, a bunny's corn.
Yeah, it means horn of plenty, and a lot of time you see the cornucopia will be that big old horn. And it's just got food and stuff coming out the large end of the horn. So it means a horn of plenty in Latin. What color is turkey's eggs?
White.
Brown.
Yellow.
Brown and orange.
He don't know because he don't watch Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. So on there they explain most of this stuff. They're tan. Tan, yes. I know y'all getting a lot out of this. I know y'all enjoy it. So what year was Macy's Thanksgiving Parade started? What was the first year?
63.
62.
52?
62.
62. Oh, 60, okay. 1924.
Oh. was 40.
You were 40 years old, 1924.
I said 40 years old.
Oh, you said you were 40 years old. I thought you would, you just had a birthday.
Yes,
I
sir.
thought maybe you were 40 years old when in 1924. So, who is Sarah Josepha Hale? And how is she related to Thanksgiving?
She wrote something.
She wrote something.
He cooked the first turkey. She was the first person to cook the turkey.
She cooked some. Or she cooked
She was, when she was a young lady, about 24 years old, she accidentally slipped in her kitchen and fell into the oven, and the door slammed shut, and she was baked, and her family actually ate her as they, no.
Come on, man.
God. People writing it down.
Yeah.
She campaigned for years for
She made
Thanksgiving.
cakes, the pies, sir.
No, that's a different
That
one.
was Dolly Madison.
She campaigned for years for Thanksgiving to become a national holiday. Thanksgiving wasn't a national holiday back in, 1924 and all. It wasn't a national holiday. It was just a time that we celebrated. But it did become a national holiday, but that's one of the things. So she did that a long time ago. So what Christmas song was originally a Thanksgiving song?
Jingle bells.
You know it is, Jingle Bells. Look at that. And you said you didn't watch the show. He watched. So Jingle Bells. Now look, I don't really understand how Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells. How is that a Thanksgiving song? I don't know, but it was written for Thanksgiving, and somebody said, "Hey, that sounds like a Christmas song right there." But that's what that sounds like. That don't sound like no Thanksgiving song,
Got that all wrong.
Yeah, Thanksgiving song should be more like gobble, gobble, let's all gobble, throw up later on, stuff like that. Yeah. So Canada also celebrates Thanksgiving. So when do they do it? They don't do it on our Thanksgiving. When do they do it?
July.
When?
July.
They do it in October, first Monday or the second Monday in October. Yeah, something I don't know that. So we talked about the girl being what the girl turkey's called. What is the boy turkey called?
The gobbler.
No, that's a girl.
Oh,
The girl is actually called a gobbler. I don't know if we ever firmed that up, but the girl is a gobbler. So what is the guy called?
Bruce.
Who? Bruce?
Bruce the rooster.
Actually, they're called Tom.
Oh, what?
Tom. Tom Turkey. Yeah, Tom Turkey is a boy turkey. Yeah, so when I eat my turkey, I never look to make sure it's a boy turkey or a girl turkey.
Just gobble.
I'm just gonna gobble it. Yeah, I'm just gonna eat it. And okay, all right. So what is what's a young juvenile turkey called?
Jive turkey.
A jive turkey.
Little Tom. Little Tom.
Yeah, we have some of those in here. Yeah. No, they're called a Jake. Yeah, a Jake. And I don't know why they called it Jake, but they called it Jake. So if you want a juvenile turkey, a smaller turkey, you need to go over to HEB and tell that clerk you want a Jake for Christmas or for Thanksgiving. I'm sure they'll take you right to it. All right. So, So if that's a guy turkey, a girl turkey, a young girl turkey is called a Jenny. So Jenny. Okay. What is the most consumed pie on Thanksgiving? Sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie, pecan. I will tell you, on here they say it's pumpkin pie, and I tell you, with the pumpkin pie, if you put some stuff on whipped topping on top of it, and you get enough whipped topping on top of it that you can't see the pie itself, I can eat a piece of pumpkin pie. But we have like apple pie or pecan pie, or my wife makes a chocolate thing that we eat, but pumpkin pie is not number one. Not for me. True or false?
True.
We already did this one in another way, but turkey was eaten at the first Thanksgiving.
False.
We don't know.
They don't know.
False. It's more than likely false. We don't know. And the reason they say it's more than likely false, it was easier for them to get a whole bunch of that stuff because at that time what they ate a whole bunch of was pigeons.
Yeah.
We used to have a pigeon here in the United States called a carrier pigeon. And when they flew from place to place, they would darken the sky. There were so many carrier pigeons. And so it was almost, you could throw a rock up there and kill a carrier pigeon. So these guys, beginning with these guys, they were just eating those pigeons, all the time. They ate so much of them that they ate them out. They killed them, ate all of them. When I first came to Texas about 50 years ago, 40-something, there were every year we would hear the geese calling and all of that stuff. You look up and there were just hundreds and hundreds of geese flying. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
People hunted them out. There are still every now and then you'll see some geese every now and then, but very, very seldom. When I first got here, man, there were geese everywhere. That's not.
You ain't one of those pigeons before?
Carrier pigeons? No, I'm not as old as you think I am. Those things were in the early 30s and 40s. They killed them all out, and so that's a sad thing. But they were big birds. They were big pigeons, and I guess they tasted good. So they just, we do goofy, stupid stuff sometimes. But what? Oh, this is a good one. Everybody ought to know this one. What is the Korean Thanksgiving Day called? I know all the ladies know the Korean Thanksgiving Day. What's it called? Huh? Nobody know that? Ain't nobody even going to try it? Okay, I'll tell you what it is. Chuseok. Yeah. So tomorrow when you see somebody, you get up, first thing y'all do is say, Happy Chuseok.
Bless you, supposed to know that.
Yeah, bless you. All right. So who was the first president to pardon a turkey?
John Adams.
Who?
John Adams.
John Adams? No. Roosevelt? No. Who was no president? It was Mr. Kennedy. President John F. Kennedy was the first president to pardon a turkey. Yeah. I think that's kind of weird. Because what did the turkey do? You have to commit a crime to be pardoned of a crime. So this guy, the crime of being a turkey? I guess. So anyway, they did that. And when they do that, those turkeys, they take them off to a farm. They have special places they take them. And those turkeys are protected by presidential order. And so they cannot, they got like the Secret Service and stuff. You don't fool with that turkey anymore. They take them off. They live their whole life and just have, none of the other turkeys will talk to them. Yeah, because they're waiting around to get, and they know these turkeys are not, so they just kind of, like that. Turkeys are kind of, vindictive. Yeah. So, which U.S. president proclaimed Thanksgiving a national holiday in 1863?
John Adams. George Bush.
Abraham Lincoln. See. Yeah. So that gave you a little hint there. Yeah. See. So how many calories are consumed by the average person on Thanksgiving?
Too many. 4,000.
That's pretty close. That's not quite right, but pretty close.
About 7,000, 7,000.
See, when we say 4,000, it's close. 3,000 more ain't what, that ain't where you go. Yeah.
1,000.
About 4,500 calories. 4,500 calories. What is a normal day's need? 2,000 calories. So you're eating twice on that day what you're supposed to. Now, my wife has it figured out. We ain't going to be doing that tomorrow. She's going to cook what she cooks, and I don't know. I'm probably going to come up here and visit with y'all. You're supposed to have somebody bring some good food up here. And, we're not going to have any dressing. We're not going to have any corn casserole. We're not going to have any You know, that's what Thanksgiving's all
We
about.
have Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, eat till you're sick to
We
what?
have Brussels sprouts.
We're probably gonna have some Brussels sprouts and some broccoli, Brussels sprouts and broccoli, and then turkey.
If I put honey, do this honey glazed Brussels sprouts, I take some honey and take some orange peel and put it in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Put a little bit of Brussels sprouts. There you go.
There's a lot of people in the world that have figured out how to take something healthy and turn it into something ain't so healthy, but then they eat it. They say, "What did you eat? Brussels sprouts? I ate some Brussels sprouts." I'm not telling anybody they were glazed in honey with a little bit of orange and all of this stuff and 9 pounds of sugar. And okay,
Yeah,
gotta make it. Okay.
Sure.
So how many miles does the Macy's Day Parade go?
10.
2.5.
Oh.
How many turkeys are consumed in the U.S. on Thanksgiving?
50,000.
50,000. The man said 50,000. How many?
30 million.
30 million. The man said 30 million turkeys.
5 million.
5 million. Because he don't like turkey. I can eat 5 million.
I really have some ham.
He'd rather have some ham. Yeah. I like ham too, but we do that on Christmas.
Ham was
See, and if you go to HEB, you buy a turkey, they give you a ham. And so, or buy a ham, get a turkey. One of them. One of the other. So we eat the turkey on Thanksgiving and we eat the ham on Christmas. So here's the deal. About 46 million turkeys are eaten. No, that's a bunch of them. So where did the first Thanksgiving take place?
In the woods.
In the woods.
Right,
in the woods at the Indian's house.
I don't know exactly where.
Plymouth.
Plymouth.
Plymouth. What's the state? Plymouth.
Plymouth Village.
Plymouth.
Virginia.
Massachusetts.
Plymouth, Virginia. There may be a place. This is in Massachusetts. Massachusetts. This is. Massachusetts. This is. Yeah. That's where they kill all them turkeys because, you know, it's their Massachusetts. Massachusetts. How many pounds of turkey do Americans eat every? Now, we said they ate 46 million turkeys. How many pounds of turkey do you think they like?
120 million. 265 million.
10 million.
704 million pounds of turkey. 704 million pounds of turkey. You know, we eat a lot of turkey. You know, my daughter-in-law, about, I guess this was maybe 20 years ago, she called us up and she said, "Hey, I want y'all to come to my house for Thanksgiving." So my wife said, "Well, I'll bring something." So my wife baked the turkey. You know, she said, "Well, I'll bring an extra turkey. You know, we'll have plenty." So when we got there, my daughter-in-law had cooked a fish about that long.
Yeah.
And, you know, I took a couple of bites off. But how many people know, I don't even think it's legal to eat a fish on Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? That's Turkey Day. It's Turkey Day. You got to eat turkey. Anyway, we ate a whole lot of turkey. I don't know if y'all are interested in all of this stuff or not, but it's I'm having fun. So what's a furcula?
What?
A furcula.
Furcula.
A furcula. It has something to do with the turkey. It's called a furcula.
The wishbone.
It is the wishbone. All right. The wishbone of a turkey is called a furcula. Or it could be Dracula's cousin with fur.
Oh,
Furcula. I don't know. So, what's the older name for a wishbone? We call them a furcula. But what's the older name? What did they first start calling it?
A bone?
No, it was called a merry thought. A merry thought. Because I'm going to break that thing and make a wish. So I'm going to have a merry thought about how many people, if I make a wish, we want our wishes to come true, right?
Absolutely.
So we get a merry thought. Get it? That's pretty nasty. That's bad. So how fast can a turkey run?
3 miles an hour.
13.
20.
Not nearly fast, because we catch 45 million of them. They can actually run 25 miles an hour.
I want to know. I don't believe they got that much turkey on this earth that everybody can get turkey. I think everything is turkey.
Well, I'm telling you. Well, see, he wants to know where all of this information comes from.
Yeah.
I set up this morning pretty early and made all of it up. So, it made...
Google gonna say
it was Googled, yeah, we Googled it. I did. I just Googled it. So they can run 25 miles an hour. He said he don't believe there's 25 million turkeys in the world.
They farm those turkeys.
They farm those turkeys, yeah. My son used to work for a chicken place where he's a truck driver. He used to drive a truck where they took the chicken. And he had to work on Christmas, Thanksgiving, all holidays. He had to do all of that stuff. And I said, son, don't that get tiresome? He said, yeah, Dad, but chickens got to eat.
We gotta eat chicken.
Yeah, we got to eat chickens, and you got to feed the chickens. Got to get up, feed the chicken. So, there was a president, and look, I don't know if anybody knows this, but there was a president that refused to recognize Thanksgiving. He wouldn't do any of the Thanksgiving stuff. Who was that? Thomas Jefferson. I don't know why he didn't like Thanksgiving. When were Canberries first canned?
1936.
That's close. 1912. They started canning those things. A guy named Marcus Ewing, because he really, 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 just like everybody else, hated cranberries. So he figured if he put them in a can and sealed them up, he wouldn't have to eat them. But some people came out right after that and invented the can opener. So now that screwed that up. My father-in-law, before he passed away many, many years ago, loved cranberry. At Christmas, everybody would be trying to get rid of it, and we're trying to eat all this stuff. He's gobbling it down like it's good or something. Of course, he passed away. Yeah, he passed away, and I'm not certain it didn't have something to do with his consumption of cranberry. Yeah, those things are bad. Anyway. Yeah, they started to name them Crappy Berry, but they thought that was too nice, so they named them Cranberry. So y'all know what we're learning today? Nothing. So I don't know what to put in the note. I'm gonna have to lie in the note when I do it. So here's the deal. What company created the first TV dinner?
Swanson.
It was Swanson and Sons, and it resulted from an overestimated demand on turkeys. They thought at that point in time that since they had created the turkey dinner, that there was going to be a huge, huge demand for that, but not so. People, okay, we're going to eat the turkeys and stuff, but we don't want to eat a TV dinner for Thanksgiving. We want our mamas to go in there and slave for 3-4 hours and make a turkey dinner for us, right?
I just told my age with that.
Yeah, you did. Nobody knows who that was. All right, true or false? Turkeys can't fly.
Yes.
Is that true? They can fly? They can't fly?
Not very high.
What?
They can fly, but not very high.
They can fly, but not very high.
Not very far.
Y'all ever seen that show, old-timey show, WKRP in Cincinnati?
Yes.
One of the best ones they had was where they loaded up a bunch of turkeys and they pushed them out over Cincinnati, over the city of Cincinnati, and it was on the radio, and they kept coming in with the reports. Oh my God, there's turkeys falling from the sky. They're bouncing off the walls and stuff. And the guy, when he finally got back, he said, "If God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly." Turkeys can't fly.
Yeah, they can.
Their body, they're too heavy to fly. Now, if you take a wild turkey out in the woods, they can fly.
Yeah,
they can fly. They don't fly as far as birds. They don't fly like birds and stuff like that. My family bought or rented a house or something back in the day when I was about 9 years old, and we moved out there. And the people that had lived there before us had a big old flock of chickens, and they left the chickens when they left, and those chickens were living in the woods. And we went out there, and man, those chickens were flying like birds. They would fly from one tree to the next tree and all of that stuff, and you go out there and hunt them and get them, and they were tough like leather, but they could fly. So that's false. Turkeys can fly. That's the end of it. But if you got a big turkey that's been raised in a cage, then he can't fly. The ones with WKRP, of course, they couldn't fly, right? So, but that's because they weren't those kind of turkeys. They can fly. So, how fast can a turkey fly?
30 miles an hour.
I think that's 25 miles
I'm gonna say 30.
Huh? They have been clocked flying at 55 miles per hour. That's a fast bird. So, and you got to know if you go out in the woods hunting wild turkeys that those turkeys can fly. They're not heavy, they're not big, they're not 80-pound turkeys. They can. Those turkeys don't have a lot of fat on them and all of that kind of stuff. So what do you think if there wasn't turkeys at the first Thanksgiving? What do you think they had? We talked about carrier pigeons. What else?
Deer.
They had a lot of deer, but deer is not a bird.
Pheasants.
They had, they talked about geese. It says goose and ducks.
Ducks are nasty.
You think ducks are nasty? Well, I come from Mississippi, and my kinfolk are hunters and all of that stuff, but I never was. I came from Meridian, and when I came over here, my wife and I just met her, and they invited me to eat, and they had stuff like duck and turtles. Y'all ever eat turtle? Turtle is nasty. Turtle is really weird looking, but my wife will slick that, I've heard of that. I haven't eaten that. So, how many eggs does a turkey lay per year?
3 dozen. 3 dozen.
One? You said 3 dozen. What? How many?
2. 7.
Turkeys are pretty prolific. They lay up to 100 eggs per year. They have to. That's the way God does things. If you have a specific animal or bird that is hunted a whole lot, if you don't do it way quickly, then they will grow more of that particular bird. And so since we eat a lot of turkeys, then they lay a lot of eggs. So we can have, a bunch of turkeys. Say it again?
In captivity,
Yeah, and I doubt that out in the woods they lay that. But did you know a fun fact that has nothing to do with this? If there's a war going on, if we're having a war, in the midst of a war, more male children are born than female children. You know that? That's pretty strange, isn't it? It's weird. When the war ends, it levels back out. That's strange. Within a couple of weeks. Well, because God knows you're going to need some guys to go and die in the war. So,
Just real high.
Yeah. So I may have told you a story. There were around 50 settlers at that first Thanksgiving. There were about 90 Indians at that first Thanksgiving. So they had to have, that's 140 people, pretty good sized little crowd. And they had to have quite a bit of food there. So, pretty good stuff. True or false, seafood was eaten at the first Thanksgiving.
True.
True?
Probably some fish.
He said false. You don't eat seafood. That's when I went to my daughter-in-law's house. She had fish. That's what are you? I mean, there's something seriously wrong.
That's why they don't allow cook that fish, because they had it in the first Thanksgiving.
Oh, you think? Yeah, they had it. So that's why she was doing. Well, she was a teacher, so maybe she knew that. It says true. They did have seafood there. They had fish and eel and shellfish like lobster and mussels. They had all kinds of stuff there. So what a turkey's. Yeah, they're up. Yeah, they're up in that part of the country. So what do turkeys eat?
Corn.
Corn. Turkeys eat corn, but they like it with a little butter and a little salt, pepper on it. Like that. They eat grasshoppers. They eat crickets, ants, earthworms, spiders, slugs, and salamanders.
They eat everything.
They eat everything. Yeah.
Like a chicken.
Yeah. So, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, what is the fastest someone has ever carved a turkey?
10 seconds.
3 minutes. 3 minutes and 19.47 seconds. So how heavy was the largest pumpkin ever recorded?
60 pounds.
60 pounds. 700 pounds, the man said. That's a big pumpkin. The heaviest pumpkin ever recorded was 3,699 pounds. Yeah, big. So, let's see. Who appears at the end of every Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade? The last person to come through.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. True or false? A sweet potato isn't an actual potato.
True.
True. False. Look like a potato to me. Yeah. All right. No, that's true. It's not really a potato. A sweet potato is a sweet. I don't know what they talk about, but it was funny. A sweet potato is in the morning glory group of plants. So what's a morning? Yeah, it's a flower or it is a swollen root. Yeah, it's not a potato. It's a swollen root. If you think about it, a sweet potato and a potato, completely different animals. They're completely different. We go to Hamilton's from time to time, and what that means is we go every time we get a chance. It's a good restaurant. Yeah, over there right off 65. It's a wonderful place. They got some really good food. But they changed their rolls. The rolls were the best in the world. Yeast rolls, they're not anymore. They're trash. It's just like Cheddar's. They got that big old chunk of chocolate cake. They changed it. It's about half that size, and they got nuts on top of it now. So it's just not worth buying.
The place up here where they go and eat all you can eat. They have the best roll.
Where you go eat all you can eat? Golden Corral. I don't go to Golden Corral. I don't go to Golden Corral. I don't like to go to any restaurant that has to have a sneeze guard.
Yeah.
Because they don't do the sneeze guards, Lord. So if you got a 10 or 12-year-old kid, all right, and you go up there and say, I kind of like the way that tastes. It's a little slimy, but I don't. We don't go. I had a guy tell me, I said, look, I'll take you out to eat. Where you want to go? He said, well, I really like Golden Corral. I said, okay, I'll go by there and buy you a meal. I'm going to a restaurant. Anyway, what year was Thanksgiving made a federal and legal holiday?
1936.
No, that is not true. That is the opposite of true. That is wrong.
All right.
That was in 1941.
All right. Well, I was close.
You were, 1941. True or false? Thanksgiving is the most heavily traveled holiday of the year.
false.
Anybody got it? Y'all listening? Anybody got an idea?
People will say, oh, someone say church.
It's true. It's true. But more people travel for. Y'all see this lady in here disrupting my group?
Santa Claus.
I don't ever disrupt her group. Never do it. I never do it. But you know,
People travel after. We got to tell a little grace.
Oh, I was wondering too. Yeah. Oh.
Sorry.
No. You're fine. We're not really doing a group. It's Thanksgiving Eve. We're fooling around with Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
You know, we're just playing. Thank you, ma'am. Now, what we're going to do when we get back, we're through with the trivia. That's all the trivia mess. But what we're going to do when we get back is we're going to talk about some of our blessings and why we should be thankful over the holidays and all of that kind of stuff, and what some people have had to say about it. And so we're going to go ahead and take our break and take a little bit extra break because it's the holidays. And so y'all get back about 15 minutes after, and we'll get started again.
All right, sir.
Oh. That was just a test to see how good it was. Yeah.
You know, Thanksgiving was on the traveling holiday. I wish you had Santa Claus.
Yep. Even with that one, I still. Yo, world. Yo, world. Good, man. They said we walking to the club. They walking to the club, man. Come on. Ain't going. Not going? They said you gotta stay up there. Ain't going. I'm looking at this. Stay on top of the phone. No, man. Class was confused. Who? Your class. No. So it's all right. It's so sore. Yeah, better than yesterday. Good. Yeah. Yeah, what? Hey, where's this? Huh? Oh, it's okay. It's about yeah, they're okay with it. Yeah, okay with it. Okay. Yeah, because I wanted to, but because my problem was going to be an issue. It may not be an issue for the guy to get it out, but you don't know who's going to come to that door or why. It's going to go. Okay, well, write our name on it. And then that's going to be a whole other issue. It was clear. I'm good. Like I said, I just don't want to, new clients to come through and start feeling some type of way and all this other shit. And then I got to put Lady J on. I ain't fighting. I said I'm going to have to put Lady J on. I ain't fighting nobody. Yeah. I'm putting Lady J on. I ain't fighting nobody. I don't want to. I don't have to run to my picture and get my clothes. I don't want to shit. No. It's not time.
I'm gonna write a phone.
How you doing, Mr. Knowles? You good? That's I'm pretty good. Can't complain.
This is good. Came up on that.
Well,
Did you bring snacks?
yes, I did.
Oh, they evaporated.
That's not a good thing. Oh yeah, they went away fast.
I did get one, though. I didn't get a whole pack. So I appreciate it.
Sir. Sir. 9 o'clock was probably out here. Oh, was it not? I forgot. Nico was in the class.
There you go. Oh, boy. Good.
Few minutes.
Alright. Cool. Come on. Talking about some chicken. We're talking about some chicken and some beef and some barbecue sauce. Rice bread. Chili. Need some good potato salad. Red dress. And broccoli casserole. And all the sweets they got. I ain't never seen a pumpkin pie in my house. I don't eat that. Never. I said never. Potato pie. See, my daughter was sick of me. First watch she potato turn over. She was about a dozen of them cut in half. I was sharing. I'll share it with others, like, but I can't get them all here. So, I had to get a pumpkin pie toy. I'm pretty sure they got them. They got some cards in there. All you need is some K-roll syrup, pumpkin, pie shell,
See outside?
and some brown, and some sugar. Sugar, K-roll syrup, butter. Got I can make some shells. That's like 3 or 4 shells. I make some corn pies. I make about 3 or 4 corn pies. I might order the K-roll syrup. And they got sugar in there. A little thing of vanilla. I whip them up. No. Everybody got a little money to fix it in. Not gonna let me buy food for you to eat and you go else with your money. Not happy. But, thank God. No. No, hell no. I eat sausage sandwich. Even with my people, I eat sausage sandwich. All day. I like to eat. I put some chicken in water. This is the first time I ever been down on Thanksgiving. No. Though they feed you, put it down on Christmas. There's days. And then probably like Juneteenth, 4th of July. What's the other? Cinco de Mayo. Christmas. Yes.
So Cinco de Mayo,
Holiday.
no, it is. It's actually a Mexican holiday. Yeah. But Mexicans also, they don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo. They don't.
What? They don't. Just the ones in America.
No.
And I ask you this question. The reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because I forgot for like 3 or 4 years in a row. Mayweather used to beat up somebody on Cinco de
Okay.
maybe a bunch of Mexicans.
Now, if you want to find Cinco de Mayo as a holiday, you have to go closer to Central America. I should say around Mexico City, further closer to what they call Middle America. Well, Mesoamerica is really Mexico and Nicaragua. They call it the middle part of America because Cinco de Mayo was you had African American ex-slaves helping Mexicans defeat French for independence. So Mexicans don't celebrate it for that reason. Now, if you go deeper into Mexico, they celebrate. But as far as like from Tijuana, they don't do it. So how do I know that? When I taught that in class, and a lot of my Mexican students were like, huh? And I said, y'all don't even celebrate Cinco de Mayo. They're like, oh, that's why. So in Mexico, they dress up in blackface.
So basically we should have just let the French kill them.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, Mexicans did not believe in slavery. So that pissed off the United States. Okay, so when they were doing our land grants, Mexicans was like, no, we're not going to let you get the land grant because we don't do slavery. So Mexicans and ex-slaves were friends.
Yeah.
They were camaraderie. They camaraderie together. But then he's trying to teach that.
Okay. We had a deal on Mexico, and while Mexicans don't have a whole lot of slaves, and okay. We're back to our Thanksgiving thing, and we're not gonna take a long time. Are you all right? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But I don't know what we got off on over here, but yeah, there's all sorts of stuff we can talk about. But today we're going to talk about why we should be thankful. Yeah. If you're not thankful, okay, you're not thankful. Who? And I've talked to some people who said, I don't have anything to be thankful for. Okay. If you don't have anything to be thankful for, all right. That's a sad thing. But here's some stuff that some of these people we're going to know. This guy's name is Charles Dickens. Y'all remember him? Wrote a lot of good stuff. And he said, look, reflect on your present blessings. Stuff that happened 500 years ago is not affecting you. Reflect on your present blessings, of which every man, every woman has many. If we take a look at what we have right now in our life, we have a whole lot. Not on your past misfortunes, of which every man, every woman has some. We all have a little bit of something that's going on in our lives, in our past, and all of that kind of stuff. But we have so many blessings that it just kind of overshadows that. What we focus on, what we we put our focus on is what's going to be big and important in our life. James Foss said, the thankful heart opens the eyes to a multitude of blessings that continually surround him. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he does not have, but rejoices for those that he does have. This was Epictetus. We remember him. His name is Epictetus. It's hard to say. But he was way back there, philosopher way back there. It says, look, we can always find something to be thankful for. We can always find something to be thankful for. There may be reasons why we ought to be thankful for even those dispensations which appear dark and frowning. Sometimes even the things that don't seem good, we can be thankful for. Because some of the times they change our direction, they do some other things. Here's something we need to get hold of. The unthankful heart discovers no mercy. But the thankful heart will find in every hour some heavenly blessing. So be thankful for what you have, and you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you can be assured you will never, ever have enough. You never have enough. We would worry less if we praised more. Thanksgiving is the enemy of discomfort and dissatisfaction. Now, if I get something in my craw and I keep that in my craw, it's going to stay there, and I can keep that forever and ever and ever and ever, and there's not a thing in the world I can do about it. We have a study. We're going to do it one day. It's called Concentric Circles of Concern. And I don't know that we've done that. I know I haven't done it in a while. And it's just, big old circle and a circle inside of a circle and a circle inside of a circle, and the things inside that circle that I can do something about. A lot of the times we got stuff outside that circle that we worry about, and we stay concerned about, and all that, and we can't do anything to affect it whatsoever. And my being concerned about it and all of that stuff is not going to affect it. The only thing it does affect is my happiness and all of that kind of stuff. And so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to spend a whole lot of time on it. Be thankful for what you have. It's a funny thing about life. Once you begin to take note of the things you're grateful for, you begin to lose sight of the things that you lack. Okay, I'm okay with what I got. Don't let the sun go down without saying thank you to somebody. And without admitting to yourself that absolutely no one gets this far alone. Don't spoil what you have by desiring overly what you don't have. Remember that what you have was once amongst the things that you only hoped for. The soul that gives thanks can find comfort in everything. The soul that complains can find comfort in nothing. If I'm a thankful type of person, if that's just part of who I am, then I'm going to be thankful for just every little thing that comes my way. But if I'm a complainer, then nothing's ever going to be good enough. I've known both types of people. I know people that will complain if you hang them with a new rope. It's just the way it is. Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess. Then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours. Remember that what you have is what you used to dream of having. Keep your eyes open to your mercies. The man who forgets to be thankful has fallen asleep in life. That was Robert Louis Stevenson. He was a big deal. Y'all remember who Doris Day was?
Sure.
Or I guess she's still. I don't know. She might be croaktified now. She dead? I don't know. She's not alive. No, she croaked. So she said, "Look, gratitude is riches, but complaint is poverty." Just think about it. What do you really got to be? So cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing. Grateful for every good, little bitty thing. Gratitude can transform common days into Thanksgiving. Turn routine jobs into joy. Change the ordinary opportunities into blessings. It's just, all of this is saying the same thing. It's all about my outlook on things. All about how I see things. It will change everything. I can talk myself into being miserable. And look, I know people, I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people who love to be miserable. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you... Yeah. If you love being miserable, let me tell you a little something about that. Misery loves company. If you love being miserable, you need to get off by yourself. Don't come to my house. I don't. I'm. I am blessed beyond belief, blessed and highly favored. And if you're miserable, you need to do that by yourself because you ain't coming to my house.
I have something going on.
Yeah. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but it is the parent of all other virtues. If you're a virtuous person, you started with gratitude. I had somebody the other day that was not a happy person. The first thing they told me is, you don't understand what they did. When I get myself to myself where I'm at a place where I don't care what they did, if they're ignorant enough to have done that, they did that, that's them. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about me. So I'm blessed and highly favored. Yeah, I don't have to hang around with those people. So I would maintain that thanks are the highest form of thought. I need to be thinking about being thankful. And that gratitude is happiness that is doubled by wonder. So if I can't be grateful, something's wrong. Take full account of what excellencies you do possess. There's some good, great things in your life. There's some good, great people in your life. There's some fantastic things going to happen for you in the future. But look, we can temper every bit of that good stuff with some crap. Yeah, how many people know that ice cream is wonderful? Oh, ice cream's good.
It ain't good for me, but I love it.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I love it. It's not good for me. I don't like the fact that it's not good for me, but it's not good for me, and I understand that. But if you put a little bit of poop on the ice cream, it messes it all up. A little bit of poo-poo, caca. You put a little bit of poop on your ice cream, and man, your ice cream's no good. You go ahead and smear some poop all over your new car, and suddenly it's not as nice. Yeah. So whatever I've got that's going on, I possess something great. I don't want to put poo-poo caca on top of that. So, thanks is that wonderful thing. Take account of the excellencies that you possess, and in gratitude, remember how you would hanker after them if you didn't have them. Let gratitude be the pillow on which you kneel to say your nightly prayer. When you go to God, you need to go to God in gratitude. Look what, there's a song that we sing sometimes that says, look what the Lord has done. Yeah. Look what God's done in my life. You can't look. And you know what's a wonderful thing is that you can allow other people to be what they need to be without you having to go to where they are. There seems to be some people, and you're going to run into them down through your lifetime, that need to tell you something that's going to bring you down. They want to knock you off your high horse. They want to get your joy. They want to make you miserable. Those people got a special spot in hell, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, golly. If you can't stand the fact that somebody else is happy, you can't stand the fact that somebody else is blessed, that's a sad place for you to be, Mama. You need to get out of that. So let it be your pillow that you kneel on, and let faith be the bridge you build to overcome evil and welcome good. If you're trying to hurt me, you're trying to hurt my blessings and stuff like that, that's just evil. Stop it. Cut it out. I'm not talking about anybody here. I'm just saying when you see that happen. When it comes to life, the critical thing is whether you take things for granted or you take them for gratitude. Man, I'm going to tell you, it's taken me a long time to get to the place. I don't take anything for granted. I don't take anything. You come out here tomorrow and this place be closed. So I may not have a job.
What they gonna do with us?
Yeah.
Going home.
Yeah. Go somewhere else. You come in here on Monday morning, everything might be, you just really don't know. You don't know. You can't take anything for granted. So when I get here on Monday morning, I can be grateful that I got a job. If I go and I've got friends and neighbors and, cohorts and things, I can be grateful that those people think enough of me to want to spend some time with me. So gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. Being grateful, being thankful unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. I'm grateful for what I've got. A lot of people, and look, I've been one of those people where I had everything that I needed, but I wanted this, something more. And so that would mess up the fact that I should be grateful for what I have. So, gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. It's the spark that lights a fire of joy inside your soul. Being grateful can do some great, magnificent, wonderful things for you. Being thankful can do some wonderful things. We said earlier that all of us in here are thankful for being sober. I'm thankful I'm sober. I'm thankful I'm healthy. I'm thankful I'm devastatingly good looking. Look, I shave this every morning. You know, I can't help it. I have to look at it.
Remember, loves you, man.
My mirror loves me. My mirror good. Yeah. So, if we express our gratitude, we must never forget the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by those words. The Bible tells me to have God first in my life, and so yeah. And then it tells me to have other. If I'm going to say something, do something that's going to hurt somebody else, I need to shut my mouth. Boy, that's a hard thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if I know that I'm going to get you, I need to shut up.
Sometimes people need that.
Well, sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. But most of the time, I'm not going to say anything. Look, sometimes it needs to be said, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it needs to be said. Does it need to be said by me? Does it need to be said right now? There's a lot of things I can go and say, no. Maybe it doesn't need to be said right now. And maybe it doesn't need to be said by me.
That's why I'm here.
Maybe it does need to be said by somebody else. Let that go.
Sometimes I just get you.
Yeah, sometimes I forget that too. So I would maintain the thanks. No, that's not the right one. No, I'm way down here. Yeah, I'm way down here. So gratitude goes beyond mine and thine and claims the truth of all of life is a pure gift. I'm grateful. You know, I am grateful for being alive. I'm grateful for being alive at this time. You know, I do believe that we're in the end times. I believe one of these days, before too long, Jesus is going to come back. And I want to be in a situation doing things that I would be okay with him catching me. Yeah. I want to be doing it.
Coming back,
Yeah. Well,
be a lot of turmoil. You ain't waiting to hide under a rock. I want to raise you.
Me too. Gratitude bestows reverence, allowing us to encounter everyday epiphanies. What's an epiphany?
A thought.
A sudden thought. Oh my God, I shouldn't be sleeping in group. Boom, it's an epiphany. Oh my God.
They definitely not having it.
And some folks just ain't having no epiphany.
They sleep.
Go sleep in it. All right. Gratitude, look, this is a big deal. It says gratitude, Aesop, the guy that came up with Aesop's fables, he said, look, gratitude is a sign of a noble soul. If you don't have if you cannot be grateful, you don't have a noble soul. You know, you're not one of those folks. So let us be grateful to the people who make us happy.
Yeah.
They are charming gardeners. They make our souls blossom. Being thankful doesn't always have to be serious. There are some funny thankful things that happen. So, grumbling and gratitude are, for the child of God, in conflict. Be grateful and don't grumble. Grumble and you won't be grateful. Gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have even more to express gratitude for. That's a guy named Zig Ziglar. Y'all ever heard of him?
Sure, people that smoke marijuana did.
Yeah. They were thinking of something entirely different. Zig Ziglar was a good motivational speaker. Years and years and years, he did some good stuff. To speak gratitude is courteous and pleasant. To enact gratitude is generous and noble. But to live gratitude is to touch heaven. Just being grateful. Just being grateful. You know, if you have to think about what you're grateful about, you need to stop and think about what you're grateful for. There's so much to be grateful. I'm grateful for grass. I just like grass. If there wasn't any grass, man, the world wouldn't be what it is today. I'm grateful for this job. I'm grateful for the building. I'm just a grateful type of
For
person.
the tree.
Yeah, I'm grateful I'm going to have some turkey. My wife called me a while ago. Well, I called her and I'm talking to her. I call her every day at break. And she said she's making our dessert. Okay. She put all of this keto type of stuff in there to make this dessert. Man, that stuff is nasty.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a good dessert. She said I put too much. She put too much sugar in it. She said, well, you know, we're going to have to eat it that way. I said, okay, it's going to be all right. I don't know. You know, she doesn't use Splenda. We use monk fruit. Monk fruit is good stuff. We don't use Splenda. Stuff like that's not good for you.
During my keto diet, I was using the monk stuff. And it makes your stomach upset.
Well, it can, but it's also super duper sweet. And so you got to be sure you don't put too much in there. So she had too much in it. She had it cooking. And then her friend called. She texted me back just a moment ago and said, I burnt the crust. So I got to start all over again. So see, I'm grateful for the fact that her friend called. And they're talking. She burnt the nasty one that she had messed up on. Now she's going to get to redo it all over again. You got to look at that. See, that's just good. That's just good stuff. God does some really neat little things. So, being thankful doesn't always have to be the single greatest thing that you can do to change your life today was to start being grateful for what you have right now. Who said that? Oprah Winfrey. Yeah. She's got a lot to be grateful for. You know, chick's a billionaire. Billions of dollars. She's famous and she's doing all of this kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in her life that I don't like. Tried to start her own religion. Okay, you know, that's nuts. But still, she's blessed beyond belief, even if she doesn't know where it comes from.
She's grateful for the statement.
I don't know. I know that she appears to be grateful to have enough money that she can buy grits and gravy when she needs to.
Who are you talking about?
Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey. To speak gratitude is courteous and pleasant. We just said that. When you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. Sometimes people who have so much. I was at a man's house, and his house was worth at least $1 million, and he had a beautiful car out front, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm the minister from a little small church down the road that he wanted to talk to about the horrible, nasty stuff that's in his life. All this stuff and not grateful for anything. You know, and then I go and talk to people sitting on the side of the road who have nothing, and they're grateful for the sandwich that somebody gave. You know, so when that person is grateful for what they've been given, then they possess much more than the other person who has millions, but is not grateful. So it's just a wonderful thing. Just being grateful. Because look, no one achieves success does so without the help of others. The wise and confident acknowledge this help with gratitude. Now here's some things. Gratitude doesn't always have to be serious, right? The first part of it, we've been serious about this, but we're going to be out of here in just a few minutes. So let's do this. Let's think about some funny things. It's going to help us. These are some funny quotes that people have talked to us about being grateful. So it says, look, let us be thankful for the food. But for them, the rest of us could not succeed. Mark Twain said that. You ought to be thankful a whole heap and lot for the places and let me say it again. You ought to be thankful a whole heaping lot for the places and people you're lucky you're not. Get it? There's some places I don't want to be right now. Look, if you've been in jail, that ain't a place I want to go again. You know, I'm okay. I got through, but I don't want to go again. You know, I mean, okay, you know, I thought, yeah, I could whoop him. And no, I couldn't. He had a gun and a badge and a few other things that proved me wrong. I don't want to go back there. You know, every time a policeman stops me right now, he leaves that encounter thinking, man, that's the nicest old boy I ever met in my entire life. Yeah. I couldn't give him a ticket. I could, you know, no, you know, I'm going to guarantee it. I'm never going to. I don't want him to check and see that at the jailhouse in Anahuac, Texas, we're going to when it used to be a long time ago. It used to be up on the top of the courthouse, and we're going up in that thing, and he had pulled his gun off, put it in a little thing, so he was unarmed. But he was about. He was a big fella, but I figured I could handle him, and I couldn't handle him.
So you tried it?
I did try.
Oh, wow.
I did try.
Oh, man.
He explained some things to me. He showed me a couple things. He said, let me show you the side of this thing here. And he took my head, and you know, he helped me understand some stuff. So I was grateful, you know.
But you was grateful when you got through.
Oh boy, when the doors opened up, I was a happy, grateful man. Let me out. You know, I've been in there. It was like being in there with a tiger or something. You know, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So it's not. But I was drunk, you know, and I was crazy, and I was young, and I thought I could, and she showed me some things. They know a few things I didn't know.
Mirror like you after.
Yeah. So we ought to be thankful a whole heap in life for the places and people you're lucky or not. So that's a good thing. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. Huh? If I feel that, if look, I'm grateful, I'm going to tell you. You know, I'm going to let you know that if you do something, you know, when I had a guy I guess this was, I don't know, it's a while back, but you know, he's wearing the Army hat or Navy hat or something, and I said, thank you for your service, and he said, thank you for your support. I go, okay. I've had a lot of people come by, wear my Army hat. I was there for a minute. They come by and say, well, thank you for your service. And I didn't have the way to show them the gratitude that I feel gratitude when somebody else says that. So now when they say that, I say, well, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. I really do. You know. So I also appreciate the fact that as a veteran, I get 10% off. Makes everything, just about everything, car parts, at the restaurant, going to hotels, stuff like that. You know, had I known that I was going to get 10% off when I killed those 3 old boys, then, you know, I'd have killed a few more. You know, I mean, all right. Gratitude is a wine for the soul. Go on. Get drunk. That's the only drunk we can do, is get gratitude. There's always something to be thankful for. If you can't pay your bills, you can be thankful you're not one of your creditors. Right? You may not be able to pay your bills. They ain't going to get paid. Yeah, so we can be grateful for that. This is a wonderful day. Never seen it before. I can be grateful for this day. I have never, you know, we always say it. We got a little bit trite now. It don't really mean anything. Yes, I'm grateful for waking up. God woke me up this morning. We just say that, you know. But you know, that's a really real thing. This is a brand new day. I've never seen it before and never will again. This day is this day, right? So I'm grateful for Wednesday. All right, so your family is something else that we can be grateful for. How many people are grateful for their family? Now look, how many people love everybody in their family? Look, some people do. I got people in my family I don't. I don't know that I love them. I know I don't like them. I know I don't like them. But I don't know that some of them I know I love. Some of them I'm not sure I love. I'm not sure I love that person. I mean, I know I'm supposed to say I love that person. You know, and I'm going to support that person because they're my family member. But that don't, I don't know if I'm doing it because I love them or because
I'm
they're
a
my family member.
support dudes willingly give when they done stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a
So
hard
how
thing.
far do you take love thy neighbor?
Say it again.
How far do you take love thy neighbor?
Yeah, and you're supposed. Yeah, Bible tells us we're supposed to love everybody, and we don't have to like them, right? Love your brother.
Love somebody,
So,
not like. That's all right.
oh no, there's a whole lot. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, yeah, I love my wife. I don't like her all the time. Sometimes she's just hard headed. Sometimes she is negative. So so I don't like her all the time, but I love her. And most of the time I like being around her, but not all. So here's the deal. Princess Diana, y'all remember her?
Mm-hmm.
Got drunk, ran around, did some crazy mess, got killed. But before she did all of that stuff, she said family is the most important thing in the world.
So what's she doing?
Okay. Now to her, family is the most important thing in the world. It's not. That's not true for me. My family is important. God's the most important thing in the world to me. Without question. Without question. My family is somewhere next. But family is not an important thing, said Michael J. Fox. You remember him? Back to the Future. It's everything. Okay. Well, to him and to a lot of people, that's it. Family is not the most important thing. It's just everything to them. That's not true for me. I love my family, most of them, but I do believe that my relationship with God is more important than my relationship with my family. A lot of times, for a lot of people in my life, my relationship with my recovery is more important than my relationship with my drunken brother. It is. I love my brother, but I love my brother from afar. Well, you stay over there, I'll stay over here, and everything will be all right. When the dust is settled and all the crowds are gone, the things that matter are faith, family, and friends. I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good saying, yeah. So I am pretty thankful for that. Family is the life jacket in a stormy sea of life. Can be that last bastion of help. That last person, even if they don't love you, they don't like you, they don't care what you're doing, they don't care for all of that stuff, usually they'll throw you a lifeline. Usually they will. Family is one of nature's masterpieces, and family is the first unit that God put together. Nature didn't have anything to do with it. God put together the unit that is family, and that is a masterpiece. The family is the first essential cell of human society, and I believe that. Family, nature, and health all go together. What can you do to promote world peace? This is Mother Teresa who said this. Go home and love your family. That will promote world peace if you go home and promote and love your family. Jose Carreras, he said, look, I have a wonderful shelter. It's called my family. My family can shelter me from a whole lot of mess. Family isn't defined only by the last name or by the blood that runs through our veins. It's defined by commitment and by love. And a man should never neglect his family for business. Now, who said that? Walt Disney. Walt Disney had, wonderful business. A happy family is but an earlier heaven. Family by no means gets left behind or forgotten. So here's the deal. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Today is Thanksgiving Eve, right? So we don't do gifts and stuff on Thanksgiving Eve and Thanksgiving and all of that stuff. But look, we're all going to have a happy look. If we're going to have a happy Thanksgiving and a wonderful Christmas, who's that up to?
Us.
Entirely. It's up to me. If I get up tomorrow morning and I'm thankful, am I thankful for the turkey? Absolutely. I'm thankful for whatever dessert my wife comes up with. I'm thankful for the fact that I'm going to have some time to sit at the house. I'm thankful that you guys are going to have a wonderful meal here tomorrow too. I may come up here on Friday, but I'm really thinking it'd be a good idea for me to come up here tomorrow because y'all going to have a better meal than I'm going to have. Yes, sir.
But what about the people that don't wake up tomorrow?
Well,
They need to be thankful for what the Lord.
yeah, I'm going to be thankful I woke up tomorrow. The deal is I'm only promised my next breath. I may not get to one after that. But here's the deal. I've sold my soul to the Lord Jesus Christ. And when I die, my Bible tells me I'm going to be standing before Jesus. I'm going to be standing before him. And he's not going to look at what I've done at all. He's going to say, okay, why should I let you into my heaven? And I'm going to say it's because of what you did. Because what you did on the cross. Because what you did. Because I have nothing. When I stand before God, I'm going to go naked. Because I have nothing. I don't have a thing. Not one work that I've ever done. Not anything that I've ever done. It's just going to be because of what you did. Yeah, and I'm thankful for that because here's the deal. I will tell you this, that if I had to work for it, I would not have been able to do it. And I'm going to tell you this. This may be a secret, but if you had to work for it, you would not be able to do it. Because here's the thing. God hates sin. He's not going to allow one little bitty dab of sin, not little bitty dab, not a little bitty mustard seed of sin into his kingdom, into his heaven. Not a little bit of mustard seed. You're not going to go to heaven with any sin attached to you at all. If by ourselves, the Bible says all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. By ourselves, there's no way we could not have that sin attached to us, but with Jesus. That sin is gone. So, that's why I've got to stand before him and say, I ain't got nothing. I didn't buy a ticket. I had to come in on you or I'm not going. So, I want us to have a great, great Thanksgiving here, and I want us to have a great Thanksgiving over at North Point. And we just need to wake up in the morning and be thankful for the fact that we woke up this morning because it's going to be a brand new day that we've never seen before, and we can create some wonderful, good, thankful stuff. And we can have some great things for that show gratitude in that brand new day. All right. Questions, comments, snide remarks, testimonies. Anybody got anything they'd like to say before we go this morning? Well, Mr. Rice, you got something? You need to be watching what you eat tomorrow, bro.
Hey, tomorrow's my Tuesday. I got a lot of information.
Take a little extra something.
Take a little extra.
All right, I will be over to North Point here in a few minutes, and thank you for paying attention.